What's up, everyone? Good evening. Happy Thursday. So let's take a look at what we can expect for tomorrow. There was a little bit more of movement. Interesting enough, the only big news in regards to the US actually managed to move the market. It was the unemployment claims. Yeah, if there were more news, market wouldn't almost react to this news release, but because we don't really had any more news, or we don't have any more news actually this week in the US. There you go. We had a little bit of reactions. We saw that move to the upside on the dollar after the news. I managed to break slight with these midweek highs, and we'll see what's next in here. We are getting closer to that the previous support resistance. Just check out this one. I think on lower time frame that's actually somewhere in view where the last zone is. So yeah, it can continue to move slightly to the upside until it gets closer to this zone in here. I'm not going to really to fight the dollar index at this point. We did have a correction straight away after that, but we are still within this range. So until we actually have a proper break of a point here, that may start pushing a bit more to downside, then maybe we can look for something else in here on dollar index. Aside from that, let's let it continue to move slightly higher. Again, we do most likely create some structure in here that price can still respect, but overall I think it could go slightly higher in here. So again, it has been a quiet week after what happened on Monday. It has been a quiet week, just a quick slow retracement in here. So we'll see what's going to happen in here on dollar index tomorrow. The indices also recovered, so that's something that we also mentioned yesterday. So looking eventually for price to bounce back from these lows, and it did. And we are looking eventually for price to get a little bit more to the upside towards somewhere in here. So that's a little bit of my level still where I'm going to be looking for, with the potential even to get back into those size, but we'll see. Before that, there's definitely a few levels in here that I want to pay attention to. That's what I'll be looking for, which is somewhere in there on the retracement towards this level. So that price create a little bit more of structure. Let's see if it gains momentum or not, depending on the approach as well. If price starts to create some maybe double tops in there or something like that, or if it goes just in compression, then yes, then maybe we can have that move. Because now what happened is that now we actually created this level, and that's a bit bullish in here. Like price can easily also take the highs, can retrace even back to this level and go back up again. Like, so it's actually much better to look for sells initially when we don't even have this move in here to catch this initial move. And after we do have this one, it starts becoming a bit more bullish, because basically this is now price actually showing that it's respecting the low. So there are buyers defending this level in here at this point. So we'll see. Again, looking a bit more to the upside, but depending on the approach in here, I think price eventually is going to break this level. It's going to break this level as well, and somewhere in here it can have a reaction. So we'll see what's going to happen in here on the S&P. Just a simple maybe zone in here to continue, can be just like that. So we'll see what's going to happen in here. Similar on the Nasdaq, we do have still that level in there. Again, price respected, basically went really close to this level in here. It went all the way to take that low as well, and there you go. So we did manage to leave behind maybe that structure in there, and you have this one in here as well. So we are looking for the same levels on Nasdaq, same as the S&P, which is a little bit more to the upside in there. So we'll see what's going to happen around this structure in there. All right, so that's something to pay attention to for tomorrow. Dow Jones, similar. There's a little bit more room to go to the upside above this high, so we can go even a little bit more but it kept respecting this level in here, so all good. And also DAX maybe just moving a bit more. Another one, it was the crypto actually managed to break proper the high, especially Bitcoin. So we are back at 60k on BTC, so we'll see what's going to happen next. We are getting back into this structure in there. So let's see if price respect anything in here, or if price just continues to move to the upside. So crypto basically it respected from this demand zone, starts basically below that, everything is compressed in here, and now we do have that that next structure is something in here and a little bit more in there. So that can easily keep holding price up, just something like that. Should delete this. So we'll see in there. We do have this supply level. Yeah, we do have that supply level in there. Yeah, can react, can go, can react, retrace, maybe continue to push higher. So that's a little bit of what we have at this point. Did we manage to break with the lows? I don't think we did. We did manage to break this low, but I don't think we managed to break this one, and that's actually the one that matters. Yep, we didn't. So that actually, this level in here can be quite interesting for a potential long opportunity now that you have this basically quasi-modo in there. So that can actually be quite an interesting level, since we never really managed to break that low in there, and it goes almost in alignment with this previous level support resistance in here. So somewhere in here there's potentially a good continuation setup that we could expect on BTC. Even better if it starts creating even a new high in there, and then from here I think it can be an interesting, why did I delete this? It can be an interesting level to look for a continuation to the upside, at least some reaction from here. There you go, potential continuation in here on Bitcoin. Ethereum, yeah, finally took these highs in here, again getting a little bit more closer to this level, and then it can even go slightly higher into this previous support resistance. So yeah, that's basically where we are at this point. So looking, I would even prefer if price didn't really spend too much time in here and it would just go directly into this level in there. So that would be maybe a little bit better. In terms of continuation at this point, of course, can just retest and go, or can retest into here and go. Right, so we have two levels in here to look for a continuation on Ethereum at this point. So yep, those two. Savannah has been even more bullish, and now it's reacting a little bit from this level of supply, just getting into this structure in here. That's an important one, to be honest. So we'll see if price just respects it and moves lower, or eventually starts moving, continue to move higher. Yeah, so good recovery this week after the sell-off that we had at the end of last week and on Monday. So this week market is reacting quite positively to it. At the yen index, it continues to be around this level, so we mentioned that price could just react from that zone, something that we are also looking at the individual yen pairs, and I'm still looking eventually for price to react from here, right? But as I mentioned yesterday as well, I actually would have preferred if price would just came here first before actually filling that space, and at this point price already reacted from it. So we'll see if there's anything now in here that actually has the power to, or the strength to actually push price to the upside, or price will just slowly continue to move lower. So that's a good reaction from that level. We may have not really closed the gap, so there's maybe a little bit of a gap in there, something to bear in mind. But then just a continuation setup in here, and now it's compressing in here, so it's a nice compression at this point. Again, I want to see these lows being taken. Maybe that's the opportunity for tomorrow. It can be to look for a little bit of this move to the upside, and which means that downside on the other yen pairs, or the opposite. This was maybe just a level where price actually accumulated more sell orders, and from here is going to create some momentum to basically take out this compression and start getting into this level. So there are a little bit of those two options. So I'm going to just be curious to see if the yen index actually reacts from here and starts moving upwards, or if it just gets rejected in here, then I'm going to be biased more to downside and looking for price actually to fill and go below this low, getting a bit more into this structure in there. So that will be my bias at this point on the yen index, and most likely also, as you've seen a bit, on the individual yen pairs in here. So we may have a continuation actually to the upside on the other yen pairs, and in here to the downside. But we'll see. And we do have still, of course, this level. Price can still respect now this supply level. Basically, now I went to this left shoulder. It's left behind in there, the order. So again, this level is still there. It's a little bit maybe of space in there, and just curious to see how price may react from here. So those are just 3 zones in here. But more importantly, at this point, I think price could just do something like that, or break the walls first and retest this level and continue to push lower. So that's something in there on the index. Euro index also kept holding this supply level, so I've been looking for that as well. Initially, it was a big one. Price reacted from it, it created a new one, and now reacted from it again. Right, so and start breaking down slightly with these lows. So we'll see if this Euro index does want to start challenging and moving more to the downside, which again we had that big move in here with price retesting and respecting those lows. Already reacted from this demand zone, but we do have this reaction now from the supply, now new supply, and I'm not sure if there's anything in here now. Price basically has been compressing on the way down, so not sure if there's still something in here. So if price does want to start challenging a bit more, then you're going to go higher from here. We didn't manage to take slightly that low, so we'll see. It's a big question mark now what's going to happen in here, and if price actually wants to go lower in here on the Euro index, or if it starts breaking the highs, then you're looking for price to go higher and starting to get into one of those levels in there. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one in here to see what's going to happen. Again, overall, as you can see, the market has been green in general today. Now looking at the individual currency pairs, like, so that's what we are going to be paying attention now. So we had a really good reaction on the pound pairs, right? And that's actually one of the pairs that we were looking for today, especially with euro pound. Beautiful setup. We predicted that for the last 2-3 days. Just fake out the highs and then a sell opportunity. At the same time, we needed the support of the pound dollar as well. Like, so pound dollar would need to go up in order for the euro pound actually to move to the downside. And that's basically what happened. We are also looking at the CAD pairs and the potential reversal on the CAD pairs, especially pound CAD and euro CAD would get closer also to that level. So, but let's start with euro dollar, right? So euro dollar got really close to that level in there, and then it started moving to the downside. We actually broke these lows, so it fake out these lows in here, and it can actually work a little bit as an engulf to the downside, to be honest, where those lows reacted from. So we managed to go all the way below that level without really retesting the next level. So overall, in the bigger picture, that can be seen as an engulf to the downside. Maybe price reacted from something in there, but didn't really react from here, not even the other zone in there. So that's a little bit as an engulf downwards, which means that price can still carry on moving to the downside. Now price may have left that level behind in here, so it could even fake out this high a little bit and move to the downside, or could even just react from this level, to be honest. And then you still have the extreme in there. If price does want to make a deep retracement, we can even go all the way closer to this level and then push to the downside. Of course, then I want to pay attention to the type of approach that we have. On the other side, we have in here this type of opportunity, which means that if price actually wants to start going higher from here, it already reacted a few times from there, right? So it will be a setup where we'll be creating a little bit of a range in here, and tomorrow morning, for example, we'll just come back in here to these lows, respect them, and push higher. So that would be a potential setup for tomorrow morning session. If price is somewhere in here, we could just react from this left shoulder, somewhere in there, respect this low, and push to the upside from here. So we'll see if that's going to be the case, or if price wants to slowly retrace a bit more towards this level and then try to push to the downside in here. Is there anything at these highs? Maybe there is still this level in here at these highs where the euro dollar can still react from. Just fake out that level as well. So that's still a possibility. Apparently there is this level, there is perhaps this level, a little bit in here, and then you have the extreme in there. So those are basically 2, 3, 4 levels on the euro dollar to pay attention to. And yeah, at this point, it's just wait and see where we're going to be tomorrow morning at London Open to try to see. Price can actually just move in between these levels as well. Again, in my opinion, we did manage to break below that level, so we could see a little bit more of a room to downside, which means that dollar index could actually eventually go higher. And I do believe dollar index may want to go higher as well. but it's reacting right now doesn't really look that interesting. So we'll see what's going to happen in here. However, on the pound dollar, actually this could be the lows. Again, pound dollar and euro dollar, they have been moving slightly different. As you know, last week euro dollar made all this move to the upside after the NFP. Pound, not so much, right? It just paused in here, to be honest, and actually created a little bit of a few spices in here. So this was a beautiful reaction. It reacted from the extreme in there. What happened before that was that yesterday, they mentioned that as well, we started to break these highs, and then it just featured fake out those lows, and that was a beautiful move. Okay, we even have a little bit of a move to the upside in here, and then that last move and price go. Now, a few levels in here that maybe price can still use. So this level in here is still valid. So if price by any chance wants to retest to this level, can be tomorrow as well. That's usually a typical move as well that can happen with the London Open. So price eventually can start moving to downside, fake out slightly that level, react into this supply, into this demand zone element to that level, and can push to the upside from here. So that will be zone 1 to look for. This kind of now a zone 2 type of a move actually that we are going to be looking in here. On the other side, if price does want to make another deep retest into this level in here can still also be valid in here for price to maybe retest back into the zone and push to the upside in here. Above this level in here, everything looks compressed to me. We already even managed to break that high. So we may have a little bit of a reaction still around this level. Otherwise, I can start seeing this pound dollar to go all the way towards this level in there. All right, so I could see eventually this is one of the targets that I have that I'm looking for in here on the pound dollar as price is moving to the upside, and can easily even go higher. Okay, because this now becomes a bit more in the middle. I already managed to break some of these highs, but I could see some reaction from here. That's why I'm marking this level. I could see some reaction from here, and then prices continue, and you have all this compression to look for, right? So, but of course, first we need to break above this level. That's one of the first levels, important levels that you have in here. All this was a great PA. Price is reacting from a good level on the left side. In here again, it could even go there, but this one was already quite good, where actually price reacted from. And yes, we are having this reversal. It's the first time that actually I see a bit more of intention from the pound to actually reverse between all this move down. Even when you had that big push to the upside, the lows in here didn't really look that interesting. We had that correction straight away on Monday, and price start ranging. Looks like it wasn't still not in the moment to actually push to the upside in here, while euro dollar was already basically breaking all these highs in here. Pound dollar was not even managing to move that much. But now in here it actually looks like as a good reversal setup in here. So this may be the bottom for now, and pound dollar could actually start moving to the upside from here. So just something to bear in mind in here. So yes, we do have potential that level, attention. Now price may react from here, and if not, then start targeting a little bit more to the upside on the pound dollar. On the other side, the other EPA's opportunity that we mentioned not just yesterday, actually for this week, I've been looking at it. It was the euro pound, right? So we're looking for the short on euro pound. We wanted to see price faking out these highs. Initially, price respected the high, created a double top in there. That's perfect. It's exactly what you want to look for when you have such a clean supply just above it, right? So basically, pound also euro pound in this case had made such a big move to the upside these last few days. So we predicted perfectly this reversal in here. So that was absolutely perfect a couple of weeks ago. We didn't go to the upside, retest that level, everything was perfect in here, and all of a sudden we gained that momentum to the upside, right? So, and then it was perfect. Again, as I mentioned, price initially respecting these highs, and when you are looking into the lower time frame in there is literally a fresh supply in there, because these highs, as you can see, they don't really reacted from it. Like it just paused in here, never reacted from the structure, which means that that structure is still fresh, in particular with this fresh supply level. And that's exactly what you want to look for in this particular case. Like you want to look for highs on a higher time frame that didn't really reacted from the level on the left, which means that when those highs eventually are faked out, when price comes back in the future towards that level, it becomes a really good level to trade from. And this becomes basically an EPA setup, but also a higher time frame setup, which means that then we can have a really good retracement from this level until whatever next level of structure we are going to find on the bigger picture, right? Just similar setup as the euro CAD in here. So that was perfect. And then the approach today, it was quite nice as well. So price starting to break some lows as well. A lot of compression on the way while we are creating this double top. Then we also have the first attempt to get there. We didn't really reacted from the supply on this when with this high in here, only actually when price reacted from there. And you have also this break of a low. So now there you go. And always, as you want to see as well, is a quick move to the upside, right? And that's exactly what happened here. You want to see some momentum to the upside because that scares a little bit of the sellers. And it brings more people into the breakout setups because they see a momentum when price is now breaking out this structure and they are thinking about jumping into that momentum and looking for longs. And all of a sudden the opposite happens, right? We literally just start moving to the downside. Again, price actually may have left still a level in there behind. Perhaps in the future price can still retrace to that level and react from it and have another sell opportunity. We already reacted from here, so this was the next level where price reacted from. As soon as we break this level, price already reacted from this support resistance in here. Basically in here was the breakout setup to the downside. Price never really retraced to that level, which means that that level can still be interesting in the future whenever price decides to retrace there. And of course, depending on where this low is going to go from, right? Or to react from. At this point, you did manage to break that level, which means that you start opening doors to go even further down. You can maybe eventually start targeting this low in here into this structure, which goes also in alignment with that previous level support resistance. So again, that was the setup we mentioned as soon as price starting to create this double top in here. So that was already, yeah, it's basically Monday, Tuesday. We have been patient, right? We have been waiting for this move for the last 2 or 3 days, and beautifully, like great setup in there on the £0. Some of the guys catch it. That's amazing. And there you go. So that's exactly what you're going to look for. A+ setups, being patient, and then when it happens, it literally price goes in our favor, just like that. Another one that we have been looking for, as I will describe a little bit, I can describe it now because it's related to the pound. It was the pound card, right? So we have been waiting for this as well. We predicted the top as well. So we've been mentioning that reversal on the pound card, that price ended up respecting always that high. And we start looking for this break of a low. That was the first sign that price wants to start turning. Again, the compression was perfect in here as well. And you had that reaction. We had the second move in here. We start breaking some lows in there as well. And eventually have the confirmation. And then price just feels all this move in here. What will be the target? Again, I always look for this type of targets when price creates this move to the upside. Like it's basically a separation between zone 2 and zone 3 type of a move, and exactly to fill this price. So now that's what we have initially when you are here, right? So basically without really knowing what's going on in there. And then you start noticing that price starts gaining momentum, perfect. And you are looking again, as that was a target. What you want to see next is actually price slowing down. Like we need to see price starting to slow down on approach towards that level. So it's actually good that price starts respecting some of these levels in here, so starts creating some lows in there. Looks like that maybe price is getting closer to reverse, but it doesn't. Like it just creates a little bit of a high, then breaks low, continues to go, compression. You can see how price is compressing all the way through, starts breaking some highs in here, continues to go, and then you start creating this structure. And then where price eventually goes and reacts from, perfectly, right? So initially respects this low in there, kind of creates a double bottom, and then once again quick fake out into that level that we mentioned yesterday as well, and price starts turning. What happens even before that, we even have a break of a high already in here as well, right? So then retest and go again. Typical A+ setup in here. Again, it's patient, it requires patience in this particular case, just waiting for price to get into a higher time frame level as well, to another higher time frame level, let price move, let price start showing their hands that actually wants to turn, just like that. Just as it's a slightly different setup that we saw comparing with Euro Pound. Euro Pound, it was a typical double top and created even a triple top in there, and then just liquidity income, and that was it. This one, it was more in a compression, price goes slowly into this open space as well in there, right? And again, this actually scenario, it's similar to both of them. In this case, it's demand zone. On Euro Pound, it was a supply that this low, and on Euro Pound was the high, never reacted from it. And it's also visible on the daily time frame, if not mistaken. There you go. On the daily, you have that level as well. On the 4 hours, where we can not easily see the low. So those are the ones that you want to look for. And now let's see if price managed to retest a little bit more, or kind of breaks this high as well and tries to go slightly higher. In here, basically similar to the pound dollar, we may have still this level left behind, and maybe something in here as well can still work. So we'll see. For now, we kind of need to break these highs to start showing a bit more intention to go slightly higher. and then just curious to see how price may react from here. But this initial move, this initial move was really good. Again, this may not even be the bottom. Maybe price eventually wants to continue to go and now starts a new cycle of a zone 3 type of a move in here. So after this big momentum, the bigger picture in here is actually for price to start compressing until we eventually get into a proper low. This may still just be part of a zone 3 type of a move, which is eventually some kind of compression. All right, so we want to see this separation in here and now kind of a new cycle to start and pushing to the downside. So we'll see if that's going to happen or not, but on intraday, we're going to find these opportunities, and that's really good what just happened in there. Now, moving along for the Aussie pairs. Again, that was the trade yesterday, the short. That was it. Again, it was just a retracement, not a reversal. Price actually had managed to break this important high. So at this point, the momentum is still to the upside, and the tendency can be to go actually even higher. Like, we took this major low in there, and since then price is moving upwards. We reacted somehow from this level, so we can go all the way to test these highs in there. Just attention in here on this previous support resistance, but you may just continue now on £0 to move slightly higher, to be honest, at this point, right? And this is a typical move that happens exactly in here, and that's actually the setup that we looked for yesterday. So we have all this structure in here. Again, there's a fresh level in there. This size never reacted from it, but we need to be aware that this is actually an engulf to the upside after price make all this move from the bottom. And whatever you are looking at this stage, you are just looking for a small retracement. You are not looking at this point for the Aussie dollar to go all the way in here. That's not the trade. That's where we need to manage our expectations in here. This is actually a continuation setup. Price is just moving upwards. All right. But that's just something to bear in mind. Until where? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see until where actually now this Aussie dollar is going to go towards to. Nothing really stands out to me at this point in here. Not sure if something in there is going to be. Yeah, just where it continue now until it shows a little bit of maybe double top or something like that, until eventually then it can go into fake out that structure. So now just let it go higher a little bit more in here. All right, so the other Aussie pairs is the same thing, right? So we have this Euro Aussie. Also, that was the move yesterday a little bit. Then just continue. So we are in this basically compression at this point, and most likely Euro Aussie is going to take this low. I would be surprised if Euro Aussie doesn't really manage to go all the way, at least to retest this level, and then can even take the low, right? So, and it can even react a little bit from here first, can retrace, and can continue. And yes, we may target this low in here. So let's just continue to see Euro Aussie just moving slowly to the downside. Pick out this low now, and we'll see. Like, again, April setup at this point for big reversals, they are not there. This was a good retracement. It's a good PA, broke highs, that PA a little bit in there, but now let it continue to go a bit more to the downside. We also have pound Aussie compressing a little bit, so basically already even took that low. So it's Euro Aussie is lagging comparing with pound Aussie, and it just continues to move, right? So at this point, looking for price actually to go below that level. Initial good reaction, it was a nice little zone in there. Price just came all the way to test this high in here. This can still be a nice level eventually. At this point, just let it continue to move to the downside. I don't really see on Aussie just literally doing a big turn. Again, this level can still be interesting. I would like it to go slightly lower at this point in here. Yeah, so it's not really something to mess about at this point. We can fake out all these lows. It's something to look at. Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, and then we go into the yen pairs, starting with this Aussie yen. Yeah, so good reaction. Again, that's exactly what you're looking for, right? So we had that break to the downside, and we noticed that price could eventually go there. So Aussie yen actually came all the way and retested this demand zone. The other yen pairs, I think they paused a bit more around the support resistance level. It didn't really go all the way to react from the demand zone. But as you could see, Aussie was a bit more negative, so Aussie yen took advantage of that as well. We moved a bit more to the downside, and now we are looking for this Aussie yen to move slightly higher, right? And that's basically what you were mentioning with yen index. So yen index, there is a chance that maybe can fake out slightly the lows and push higher. If that's the case, then you're looking for price to fake out a little bit these highs and push lower. Otherwise, there's a potential of just literally filling out this compression and start going a bit more to the upside, and basically just create a bit of momentum now to the upside from here on the Aussie end. So this reaction here is perfect. It's a typical just move or as a continuation setup. So a nice reaction already from this level, can even react from here as well and potentially just continue, right? So this one in particular, Aussie end, was a really good reaction from there. So just let it run a little bit. Already broke this high as well. Price can even go slightly higher. And then we have dollar yen. As you can see, dollar yen didn't really react from the demand zone, just basically support resistance in here. So it was the same move in there, and you are looking for a move in that level, right? So dollar yen, actually I do like this level in here. Maybe a little bit if the dollar then wants to move to downside, dollar yen can also support in here. So that's one to pay attention to. So fake out all these highs in here, take everything away from this level, and then eventually have some kind of reaction from there. So that could be a potential move on the dollar yen to pay attention to for tomorrow. Yep, just pay attention to it. We'd start having a little bit of this also trend line being created in here. So we'll see. Yeah, that doesn't look bad on the dollar yen, something to pay attention to. Then we have also euro yen. Again, as you can see, euro yen didn't really react from the demand zone, just stayed a little bit above that, which means that this value is still open eventually for price to go there, and price can also fake out all these highs, right? And it can go actually closer to something in there. So we could see that happening. Is there anything still at the highs that you want to see? At this point you have this double top, so I'm not really going to be interested in anything in here. So I want to see this highs being taken, and after that I'll try to see if there's PA or not to look for a setup in here. Looking left, we are starting to go a bit more into, do have that structure in there. This level in here has been, yeah, can start going closer to this level, to be honest. All of this could be taken. On the end, same thing. So on the end actually got a little bit at least reacting from the upper edge of this demand zone. So the other ones was a little bit higher, and there you go. We may continue to go higher, take these highs as well in here, and you start moving a bit more to the upside into perhaps this structure in there. So that's something to pay attention to in here on the pound yen. And then the CAD pairs, at this point the dollar CAD, so we're looking for that short, and unfortunately for me price never really got there. I'm still looking for more shorts in here. I don't really like these lows. I think price could continue to move a bit more to the downside, maybe a little bit of a reaction from here, but it's already kind of some kind of reaction, which means that price could gain some momentum again to continue to push lower instead of just compressing a little bit in here. Perhaps it could gain a little bit more of momentum at this point. So it took that high, basically just reaction from this level in here, and yeah, so we'll see what's going to happen in here. If there's anything in there that perhaps could push to the upside, eventually to look for more shorts from there, or just continue to go from here and slowly targeting almost this level in there. So at least these lows I want to be seen taken, and I'm going to be curious to see how price may react from one of these levels in here on the dollar CAD. But on the way up, to be honest, everything in here looks almost compressed to me. So there's not exactly many things in there that you can expect price to react from. Euro CAD, it's one that we eventually are looking for a potential turn in here as well after price making all this move. Again, we already managed to break those lows. Price already made this big move. Dollar CAD already broke below this level. Okay, dollar CAD is already below that. So Euro CAD is kind of lagging a little bit. Now, there could still be even retest towards this level. Again, Euro CAD was a move that we also saw in the bigger picture. It's perfect. So it's reacting from this demand zone. We haven't really managed to break any highs just yet. So price is actually holding the highs. And that's why eventually I'm still looking for price to make another leg down. Now it's reacting from this demand. It's okay, but I think price could actually go slightly below that and perhaps react from here. So as long as we actually leave this level behind, we can actually have some kind of reaction from there, try to go higher, and from here we can make another sell, which means that all of a sudden we may have space from somewhere in there to fill towards there, and that could be a target. And from here maybe price will just continue to push forward. So I actually like the idea that price will leave this level behind, so just continue to break new lows and eventually can have that space will fill. If you already go straight away into there, then that's done, and there's no more space in there. It starts being more into compression, moving here, but we still need definitely to break some highs to give more confirmation in here. So that's something to look for in here. Again, this basically already a little bit of an engulf to downside as well in there, but eventually could have that deep retracement towards there. That could be eventually a good setup. Let's see if you first take these lows or if it's going to be from somewhere in there. On the daily time frame as well, maybe you have that level. That's just something to bear in mind and to pay attention to. Personally, I do want that low to be taken. Again, pound CAD, as we already saw, it's already moving way upwards. So eventually could have a bit more of a move down and then to the upside. So we'll see. Dollar franc Swiss, good reaction. So I also reacted now back into this level. Perfect. It's exactly the zone as well that we kind of mentioned. With the news, it just continues. Where price pause in here, I think we're still bullish. It's basically what we mentioned. You are looking for this dollar franc Swiss to go slightly higher after that great reaction from those lows. So we are looking for dollar franc Swiss to go slightly higher before moving for another short in here. Again, price is slowing down in here, so again, can even retest this level. We'll see. First and foremost, this level, and then in there. So let it just go slowly in there, more to the upside, showing some more weakness until we turn in there. And then gold reacted nicely from that low and then start to break some highs in here, and now it's moving, right? So basically we are within this range on gold, and not really much to mention in here. On the lower time frame, we do have some opportunities in there. Yep, so there you go. Again, it's looking more for the extremes in here on gold. It's basically what I'll be looking for. So let it now move a bit more in the middle. Yeah, this one was a bit better. Silver, so silver actually reacted from that demand zone, fake out quite nicely these lows. So that was a nice move in here on silver. Right, something that we also were a little bit looking for. A nice fake out in here of those lows, and then price just start turning while still respecting this level in there. Now we did manage to break this high, so we'll see if price does want to go a bit more into that structure as well in there. So that's something to pay attention to in here on silver. Nice reaction in there. Eventually, yes, eventually I do want price to even go below that low, but for now, let it hold a little bit more, and it's working quite nicely in there. So again, we want to look for highs being broken, and then you're looking for that level, right? So perfect, and we'll see. We have this demand zone in here now to look for, and then we have oil, which just literally went to the upside after yesterday, basically respecting these lows, just start moving upwards, and there you go. Good reaction in here. So this was a setup in here that you're looking for the intraday. After price actually managed to break it, created this level, created all these lows in here, and it reacted quite nicely. Just a nice continuation setup. And now we're looking for oil to go a bit more. Well, we'll see how price may react from here, to be honest. We'll see. I think oil eventually could even retest these lows one more time. We did manage to break these lows, so that can even be seen as an engulf down. But yeah, let's see how price may react from here, and then from there. Yeah, unfortunately I wanted indeed for oil to go slightly lower, so I didn't really manage to look for this opportunity here. It was actually overnight as well. Price reacted from there when it created all this move. Yeah, but I wanted lower, to be honest. Yeah, so basically that's it. Tomorrow is going to be Friday already. We have unemployment in Canada, another non-event news in terms of in the US. So question mark in terms of what to have or what to expect on the euro and the dollar index. I could see euro retracing a bit more, but eventually making another leg down. The same thing on dollar index to make another leg up. Pound, I think the low could be in place. It could be in place. You can still fake out the low, but I think it could be in place. We did need to break this structure in there. Euro pound as well, really nice move to the downside. I think it can go continue to move lower, but eventually euro pound is going to be more in a range. And if we retest the highs, today's highs, it can be another good sell opportunity from there. The N pairs, that's another one that I'm curious to see if we are going to gain momentum to push the yen pairs higher, or if it's going to be just a small fake out and we are going to resume with the move to the downside on the yen pairs and the upside on the yen index. The indices as well, after taking these highs, I'm curious because we are getting closer to the support resistance level, so that's actually the key level that I'm looking for. And crypto, yeah, at this point maybe just continue to go slightly higher. So yeah, those are basically a few things to pay attention to. I think the CAD pairs can be close to potential reversal or retracement. Pound potential for a continuation. Dollar franc Swiss as well, I wanted to continue to go slightly higher, potentially to find a new sell opportunity, and then the yen pairs. And that's basically, yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, based on what we saw yesterday, again, the euro pound, beautiful setup. Pound CAD also beautiful setup. Like we're looking a little bit for those retracements on those pound pairs, and they actually worked quite nicely, inclusive with the pound dollar as well. That being said, guys, I'll see you back on Sunday for the weekly analysis. It's going to be early. It's not going to be at normal 6 p.m. So I'll let you know, guys, when it's going to be, but it's going to be at a different time on Sunday. That being said, don't forget to subscribe, guys, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.